Good morning, young Groms. It is chilly today. So there's like a really weak little wind swell coming in, but I'm just dying to surf. I'm dying to mini Simmons, and it's absolutely like beautiful out here. I'm really stoked on this podcast that I got to do with Surf Skipper Review. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play some of the podcast over like the normal surf edit. So please check out Skipper Surf Review's podcast. And if you subscribe to my channel, you also probably subscribe to his. But if for some reason you don't, definitely hit him with a subscription. He makes epic content about like board reviews and stuff. And yeah, here's some words from our podcast about how to score waves in Iceland.
What's your understanding? When do you think, like off the top of your head, when do you think you would go to Iceland to get good waves?
I would guess as just based on Norway, what I know about Norway and other Arctic Circle places where you can surf. Probably winter, like when we have winter here. From November, I guess, now late October until March, that's probably the season to go, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly what I was thinking. But you have a little more to deal with because the daylight, yeah. And then, so the general like rule of thumb is for any surf trip you're going on is you want to go where the spot you're going to faces the winter. So the reason why Central America is good in the summer is because it faces the South Ocean winter. So like, you know, if you want to go to Indonesia, even though it's right along the equator, you go like March to September because that's the Southern Ocean winter. Same thing if you want to score Hawaii, the wave of the winter. You know, it's the same thing with Iceland, like you said, it's the winter months. But then when you're that high up in the Arctic Circle, there's that kicker where it's like, well, if I go in January, I'm only going to have 4 hours of daylight. So I knew that. I figured that I'd rather have 4 hours every day of pumping surf than 20 hours of daylight and flat. So I kind of went in winter, but we went in March, so there was still like 8 hours of solid daylight.
Oh, that's
perfect. That's perfect, yeah. And then still plenty of waves. And then, yeah, I figured March would be what I did was I actually looked, a whole winter went by and I checked Magic Seaweed every day. Or at least for a year, at least once a week, I would look up the spots on the North Coast and the South Coast and I would just see like, okay, like it seems to be like every 10 days or so, there'd be like a swell hitting. And I was like, okay, I got like a pretty good chance here. Whereas if I went somewhere where there's only one coast, like Norway, it would have been like, I'd have to go for 2 weeks, and I just couldn't afford that.
I hope you guys like that little talk by Surf Skipper and I. Make sure to check out the whole podcast. You can head over to his channel. I'm just really stoked Iceland happened. Like, you know, I'm not going to surf waves that good every day or, you know, be traveling the world my whole life. But, like, yeah, I'm just so stoked I got to experience it, and I want to try to relive it every day and maybe go after it again. But for now, we're just ripping up, you know, what we got here in Long Island, like you saw right now.
Ripped it back to where I'm staying, took a hot shower, and I'm still like freezing for some reason. So I definitely want to surf again, but I'm just gonna warm up and study a little bit right now. I'm gonna literally pile on all the layers as if I'm back in Iceland. But yeah, I'm gonna charge up the GoPro. I know, it's always a game time decision because when you get out of that wet wetsuit, the last thing you want to do is put it back on. So I'm going to do my best to just warm up right now and hopefully surf with my brother Mark. All right, guys, I'm bundled up because it's so cold. Or it's not even that cold out. I'm just frozen. But Mark and I just checked it. It's pumping barrels right on the beach. I got my wet wetsuit over here. I'm about to go paddle out and do the best we can. It's not just as much as like Googling it. Like I was, you know, probably wasted a little too much time when I should have been studying or doing something productive. I was like researching every little fact about, you know, where was this edit, who was on the trip, and then like looking back at their Instagrams and stuff, and like
you kind of turn into an investigator.
Yeah, or like a serial killer or something.
to hunt down.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting that you went through that, so after you mapped down everything, right? Kind of had a little puzzle, you know, put together. So were you scared to go just by yourself? Did you try to find maybe some, not the surf school, but maybe a private lesson, like some guide and that would go with you?
So I've actually wanted to do the Iceland surf trip for the longest time. And when I was like, I think a teenager, I looked into going to Iceland randomly because I had like heard about it forever, and I saw a website called Arctic Surfers.
Yeah.
So they're cool. Like if you look them up, they're not like a beginner. They're like beginner, intermediate. They'll take you kind of like, I would benefit from like, you know, riding with them because they have the 4-wheel drive cars. They can take you to cool spots and they really know this stuff, but I couldn't like afford it. I think it was like $5,000 for a week. So I was like, as a kid, I saw that number and I was like, okay, I'll never be able to do this surf trip. But I guess that brings into another thing of like how I paid for it. But back to like the surf spot. Our first day we land and we drive to like this town that's supposed to have surfing. The waves were actually too big there. It was closing out everywhere and like the wind was kind of weird. So I drove around to like another part of the coast. I thought it would be like a little smaller maybe. We actually find like a sick pumping right. All right, young Groms, I just got out of Shop and Stop. I was buying some broccoli and we've officially hit 1,000 subscribers. I am so psyched on this and I just wanted to put this in here. Thank you guys for everything you've done, and as always, we will see you on the next swell. I just want to say that I've been really working hard at this for a super long time, and thank you to anyone who has shared my videos, like Alex, Chris, Steven, Klossy, Black Java Photo, Troy, any of the boys out there. Thank you to Ben Gravy, Casey Willax, anyone who's helped me get to where I am right now. And I have a whole library of videos. Like, I'm someone who made a ton of videos about my surfing in New England, surfing in New York, surfing in college, surfing in med school, Simmons content, and a lot of like fun exploration content that maybe isn't as epic as Iceland, but it's also just really like fun, good old surf adventure, kind of like the same exact genre as Iceland, but in places like New England and New York and surfing all over the US. I've tried out like a lot of things in my life and had a bunch of different opportunities, but I think I found what I love to do. Like, I love making surf videos. I love exploring new spots, and I just am like really in love with surfing, testing out new boards. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much for watching the videos, for subscribing. You guys did your part. Thank you for sharing the videos. That's all I can ask for. Now it's my turn to hold up my end of the bargain. I'm super stoked with where I am right now. I'm surfing as much as I can. I'm running every single day. And I'm at a really tough part in med school, but I'm doing my best and we're working super hard. So as always, we will see you on the next swell.